A UC Berkeley scholar apologizes for wrongly claiming to be Native American her whole life. And basically doing this for a job, pretty much. So let's check this out. A California professor who claimed she was Native American for her entire life has revealed she is white, apologizing for breaking the trust of the Native communities she lived alongside. Elizabeth Hoover, an associate professor in the Environmental Science and Policy Management Department at UC Berkeley, said she incorrectly identified herself based on incomplete information, according to a statement posted to her personal website on Monday. In uncritically living an identity based on family stories without seeking out a documented connection to these communities, I caused harm, Hoover said. Hoover, who has published books and articles about Native American food sovereignty and other issues, said she never had proper documentation to confirm or dispute her claims of being Native American. So basically, this is kind of like a situation where, like, maybe her parents, grandparents, whatever, was basically like, oh yeah, we got some like Cherokee blood in us or something like that, right? But just believed it. Interesting. So growing up, I did not question who I was told I was or how I identified, Hoover said, but as an adult, as an academic, I should have done my due diligence to confirm that my ancestors were who I was told they were. And Hoover's Twitter account, which hasn't been tweeted from since 2020, features multiple Native American protests the professor was a part of and the many food summits she attended. Identifying as a Native American, she revealed she had access to resources she wouldn't have if she only identified as a white person. Before taking part in programs or funding opportunities that were identity related or geared towards underrepresented people, I should have ensured that I was claimed in return by the communities I was claiming, who've read. Which is a decent point. Like, you should basically guarantee, like, oh yeah, in writing, I am Native American to a certain extent. Because many people don't know this, but if you have like a specific percentage of actual Native American like bloodline, and typically you could actually prove it, you could be entitled to like crazy amounts of money and crazy amounts of benefits, and in some states, I believe, like literally free college to I think almost any state, any college campus, whatever. Like, I'm not too familiar with it, but I do know you get some crazy benefits depending on like how much Native American you actually have. The only problem is a lot of the Native American communities tend to get basically abused by their own communities, right? There's a lot of drug abuse in Native American communities. There's a lot of addiction in those communities, and even in the some Native American communities that are actually bringing in a lot of money due to the whole casino situation, the gambling situation, they are not really benefiting from it, even though they're getting the money. It's a sad, sad situation. So let's see. Hoover claimed to be of Mohawk and Mi'kmaq descent. Definitely did not say that right. Whose tribes were native to the northeastern part of the U.S. and Canada. Hoover had also said she always identified herself as someone of mixed Mohawk, Mi'kmaq, French, English, Irish, and German descent and identity. In the initial statement, Hoover detailed how she grew up with the belief her great grandmother was a Mohawk woman and was brought to powwow ceremonies and food summits to feel connected to her mother's family background. Hoover says she faced many accusations regarding her heritage throughout her career as a professor at Elizabethtown College, St. Olaf College, and Brown University. Yeah, so there's literally like she's at a protest with a lady holding a sign saying Indigenous woman saying hashtag No ban on stolen land. Okay. So, following the apology, Adrienne Keene, an assistant professor at Brown University and a Cherokee Nation citizen who says she used to be friends with Hoover, wrote a letter on her own blog saying Hoover's story quickly fell apart when Keene first started looking into it over a year ago. I will say that this work was not particularly difficult, nor did it require a lot of specialized knowledge. Her story fell apart very quickly within a few clicks, but the subsequent months were spent trying every avenue to find something that would explain her claims. Triangulating and triple checking, looking in new databases, finding more in new documents, or going back another generation, Keene wrote. So, a petition demanding Hoover's resignation received over 350 signatures last November, according to the Daily Californian. Hoover went on to say her false claims didn't just hurt the Native communities she claimed to be a part of, but also the students she taught while she researched her specializations of Native American food systems, Native American environmental health movements, and indigenous uses of fire. Now, in my personal opinion, I think in her case, I don't really believe her story, basically. Like I don't really believe that she just like was told that she's Native American her whole life. She has like ancestors that are Native American her whole life. I don't actually believe that. I believe that she wanted to feel important, so she's like, "Oh, I could just claim to be Native American and if no one finds out, guess what? I get to benefit all this sort of stuff." Because, by the way, this isn't the first time that a white lady that is very left leaning pretended to be Native American. It is not the first time. So Hoover acknowledged that her apology was long overdue and wouldn't accomplish much, but she was adamant that it can be a stepping stone for change and help her make amends. I hurt Native people who have been my friends, colleagues, students, and family, both directly through fractured trust and through activating historical harms, she said. This hurt has also interrupted student and faculty life and careers. I acknowledge that I could have prevented all this hurt by investigating and confirming my family stories sooner. For this, I am deeply sorry. And now you see a husky. All right. So let's see. Oh, there's no comments on this. Gotta love that. But yeah, in my personal opinion, I think she always knew that she was basically completely white and was just using this to take advantage of basically the system, right? Because the problem with a lot of these campuses and a lot of these ideals, it's all about the identity. It's not necessarily about the substance behind it. So they're not even going to bother digging in that much if someone claims to be Native American. I mean, like another way to think about it, the whole reparations thing that is going on in California, I believe the wording is basically like if you identify as black, and also by the fact that you don't even have to prove that you have any connection to being a slave or no one in your history, in your generations above you, right? Were ever a slave, you could still technically just move to California and end up getting reparations, which is pretty crazy. So, something to think about, but this is not a really surprising thing. Let's see.